The following video is sponsored by ECOVACS. When it comes to affordable mop and vacuum all-in-one stations, robot vacuum cleaners, then this model is pretty hard to beat. It's from ECOVACS. It's called the Deebot N30 Omni, and it has, to start with, a suction performance that is very impressive for its price tag. So it's 10,000 PA, and that's enough to lift up hair, dust, and everything, because most of the competitors out there are around 6,000 PA, especially at this price point. Now, it does have Zero Tangle 2.0 anti-tangle technology with its main brush, and this means that no hair is going to get clogged up in that brush, and later those hairs, they just get removed and they'll be in the auto empty station right here. So this has a capacity, it's 3-liter internal dustbin of up to 60 days, and when you remove that dustbin, it just goes straight in the bin. It auto seals itself, so there's really no maintenance with this unit. Apart from the water tanks, of course, you have to empty the wastewater and install the clean water at the top. Now, it will clean those mops once it's done its mopping and dry them at 40 degrees. And it has a dual Osmo turbo spinning mop system. So this is 2 mops that spin at 180 RPM. They apply 7 newtons of pressure to the floor, so they go along scrubbing the floor. And as you'll see with my tests, it does an excellent job at mopping, but it also has true edge, adaptive edge mopping. And this means it gets the mop as close to walls, furniture as possible, so there's no gaps left out at all. And it's using True Mapping 2.0, which is LiDAR navigation, and has an average battery runtime of 320 minutes. So here's what you'll find included. This is our ramp to the all-in-one Omni station, our power cable, and then finally the side sweeper brush that you just simply slot in. It does not need a screwdriver or anything. So the all-in-one station, as mentioned at the start here, this is where it's going to auto-empty the N30, and it's also going to dry those mops, clean those mops. You've got your dirty water and your clean water tanks. Those are located here. Very easy to remove them. So we have the clean water tank at the front, and then at the back, that's our dirty water tank. The water cleaning solution, which is sold separately, that just slots into here underneath the dirty water tank. Here is where it goes into auto empty itself and clean those mops. Now the mops are scrubbed inside here and then they are dried with 40-degree hot air to ensure that they're not going to grow any mold, mildew, so the mops will not smell. And maintenance is very easy. You just need to pull out this part right here and you can easily clean the washboard area. The N30 family does use True Mapping 2.0, and at the top you can see LiDAR, and at the front it does have a sensor there too as well, so we have real-time obstacle avoidance. So it detects those objects, common household objects, goes around them. Here we can access the internal dustbin of the N30 Omni. Very easy to remove if you have to do this, if you're not going to be using, of course, the auto-empty feature. But there is the filter inside here, which is washable, that eventually you do need to remove, wash, and later replace too. At the front here we do have these 4 physical buttons, so the home to return to clean itself, start and stop. This can start the whole clean, the whole house, and then we have the spot cleaning mode. When you put it down, you just press that, it will do the spot clean. On the back, one of the mops is stuck out, and that is their True Edge adaptive edge mopping, which I'll show you later on and talk a bit more about that. Now the mop lift is 9mm, and these mops do spin at 180 RPM and apply 7 newtons of downwards pressure. So they're going along scrubbing the floor. Here we have the 2 charging contact points at the rear. Note that this edge is rubber, so it's not going to damage your furniture if it happens to press up against it. The N30 Omni can handle climbs of 20mm, and here we do have its main brush, so suction performance is very high for this price point, the 10,000 PA. And you see we've got our 360-degree wheel at the front, carpet detection sensor, the side sweeper, downward sensors that detect things like a staircase so it won't fall down the staircase. And we'll take a look at this because we have here a special brush, because it's their Zero Tangle 2.0 anti-tangle technology. And what this is some V-shaped structures within it using 45-degree V-shape bristles too on it that you'll see. And what this means is that it is not going to get those hairs stuck in it. So that will remove the hairs from them. So that's why they call it Zero Tangle technology, that it will not end up getting all stuck with hair within it, which of course is a big problem with robot vacuum cleaners, but not here. Now the mapping of it does work really well. It's True Mapping 2.0 and it went first into the rooms, mapped those out really quickly, and then it was in the application. And you can run a full clean then, you can clean by room, or spot clean. Now it will go around furniture, the legs of furniture, the chair, tables, all of that sort of stuff will not be a problem for it, under beds, and it will go round first everything and then zigzag. Pretty standard for LiDAR, so it fills in all the gaps there. It's very efficient and it's clean, and I didn't experience any problems with it. But what about obstacle avoidance? So I did set down a child's toy and a shoe, and it went around them okay, detected them, but it would occasionally bump into them. So the obstacle avoidance, I wouldn't say is 100% foolproof, but for these kind of items, it did work at least, and it did see that object and know to go around it at least. Testing out the 10,000 PA of suction performance on my test carpet now. I did have two donors, two cats here of my 3 that I managed to get a bit of their fur from, mostly from Vera, because you can see it's black fur that I went for, so it would stand out on top of this carpet. Long cumin here, some crumbs, cereal, and a bit of cat food and some just general dust and dirt on top there. Laid it all out, and I set the vac at it. And you can see on the first pass, this is sped up by the way, this footage to 300%, that it did an excellent job zigzagging, going back and forth over it. The second pass went over it and pretty much got absolutely everything. I can see nothing apart from this one little bit that I'm pointing out that I think was just swept to one side or probably blown to one side is why it was remaining. So excellent vacuuming performance, especially on carpets and rugs. It did a great job with the bristles it has, so it lifted up all of those hairs, but did they end up getting stuck? Well, no, thanks to the Zero Tangle 2.0 anti-tangle technology. There's nothing in this brush at all. There are no hairs as I went and had a look at it, which is a bit of a surprise because normally there'll be 1 or 2 could be stuck in there, but no, it's done its job and the hair just does not get tangled up in that main brush. And of course it's going to get sucked up into the dustbin, which is where it all is. So once it's done that vacuum, it went back into our Omni station, the all-in-one station here, to empty out that dustbin. So as I mentioned at the start, this has a capacity of 60 days. It's 3 liters. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like when it does empty out the internal dustbin of the Deebot N30 Omni. So it basically sounds like you turning on a normal vac, and it's pretty standard for these all-in-one units that they do all sound like that. Now onto the mopping performance with its dual Osmo turbo spinning mops, so they spin at 180 RPM, applying 7 newtons of pressure. My test area here with these white tiles, what I do is I lay down some coffee, and it's got a bit of dirt mix into it. Then I let this just dry, so it sets on, it cakes into it. It's quite a stubborn stain, and you can see that pretty much on the first pass, it gets almost everything. It does an excellent job. Again, this footage has been sped up, and it will go in the opposite direction on the second pass. So when I do these tests, I allow the machines to always have 2 passes, both vacuuming and mopping, and you can see with the second pass that there is nothing left. Those little tiny black dots you can see, they're chips in my tiles, which of course they're always going to be there. So excellent mopping performance. And I want to check on just how it cleans those mops. So after the very stubborn mud and coffee, you can see that the mops are looking pretty dirty, right? They are filthy. And it's going to now be cleaned in the Omni station here. So that's going to be scrubbing it and rinsing them with water. So that's the before. I'll just give you a sample now what it sounds like too when the Omni station is working away, scrubbing and washing out those mops. So that part isn't too loud. You do hear some gurgling noises and some water rinsing noises, and it will spin those mops. And you can see that the mops now, they are clean, and it has also dried them. So with the app, you can set either 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours for the length of time to dry them. And this was after 4 hours. They're using a paper towel here, pressing them against those mops that they are perfectly dry. And that's going to stop, of course, any mildew, mold, and horrible smells that can sometimes happen if, of course, those mops aren't dry. Very briefly, here's our application, a quick run through of this. So we have our map. Now it does map out the rooms and the map accuracy does seem to be quite good. This is where you can go in and edit the map. You can set up virtual boundaries. You can divide the map. You can combine maps and you set up the no-go zones and whatnot. Here's where you go along and add another map to get it to scan again. So the options we do have for the cleaning, they're all listed right here as you can see. Plenty there. The maximum rate is that 10,000 PA. You can mop and vacuum at the same time, or you can mop and then vacuum, or just using both of those there. So pretty self-explanatory. And we have other settings in here. The interesting one is the station. So the auto empty frequency, you can set the auto wash frequency and the hot air duration, the light station, and there are firmware updates. It does send you also notifications, so it is a fully featured app that it has. So all up, you can see it's a great system here, and I think for the more affordable price tag that it does sell for, by the way, check the link in the description of this video for the pricing and more information, that it does offer a lot. We get that excellent 10,000 PA of suction performance. We have the great mopping performance that I have showed you in this video here, and it's going to clean those mops, dry the mops, and then of course the auto empty station will empty out the contents of the internal dustbin into this one here, and that has a capacity of up to 60 days, which is 3 liters. So it really does an excellent job, I think, for the price that this does sell for. So thanks a lot for watching this hands-on and test here of the ECOVACS Deebot N30 Omni.